Hey, Financial Coach, enrollment for the official Financial Coach Mastermind is now open. We kick things off on Tuesday, September 24th. You can choose from a 6 or 12-month enrollment, and you'll want to check out the bonuses that we've included for each. We only open general enrollment once a year, so this is your opportunity to take a step back from all the noise and be in a supportive, encouraging group that makes the entire process of growing a business a lot more fun. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to the FCA team and go to financialcoachacademy.com/mastermind for more information.
I'm ahead of the game.
Hi, I'm Kelsa Dickey, the CEO of the Financial Coach Academy and my financial coaching business, Fiscal Fitness Phoenix. My coaching journey began more than a decade ago with me helping people for free from my dining room table. What was once a little business of mine has grown into a 7-figure company that employs a team of people. My goal is simple: to help you fall more and more in love with financial coaching. I believe financial coaching is the most rewarding way to make a living. If you are an aspiring financial coach or have been coaching for years, I'm here to help you create a business you love that gets your clients massive results. Let's get to it.
Hey there, Financial Coach. Welcome back to another episode of the Financial Coach Academy. As you can see, I am not your usual host, Kelsa Dickey. This is Coach Jill Emanuel. I am subbing in for her one last time this summer while she is away on her summer sabbatical. I've been with you for the last 3 episodes. Today is the final episode that I'll be subbing in before Kelsa is going to be coming back. And it has just been so great to be here with you guys. I really look forward to this every summer. And so thank you for having me. All right, before we dive into today's topic, where we're going to be talking about how you can maybe be a little bit better about remembering the fact that you are actually a coach in your marketing. This is something I see all the time, and I'm going to tell you more about it in just a minute. But before I do that, I wanted to give a shout out to Kendra Friedland. She left a comment on our YouTube, and Kendra says, "Your openness and honesty are refreshing. Integrity is something no one wants to lose, and you are such an important impact in this community. Thank you." And Kendra, I just want to thank you for leaving this message. It really is important to all of us at Financial Coach Academy that we are communicating in an open and honest way, that we are living up to our ideals of integrity. And just thank you so much for seeing that. I know that that means a lot to Kelsa. It was specifically on one of her episodes that you left this comment. And I just wanted to shout that out because I appreciate that about Kelsa as well. And I just think that it is so wonderful that we have so many people in our community that value the same things. So thank you. All right, so let's dive in to today's episode. The topic: don't forget, you are a coach. I'm super excited to talk about this one. Okay, so we're going to be talking about how you can talk a bit more effectively about what you do in your emails and your social media marketing. Over the last few episodes, I know I've mentioned a couple of times that some of the topics came up in the Client Creator Challenge that we were running at the beginning of this year. If you didn't catch that, the Client Creator Challenge is a challenge we run starting in January of every year. It's 90 days, all focused on creating clients. So helping you, coach, with your marketing strategy and trying to develop a system that you can use year-round to bring in new leads, prospects, and clients. It is such a great challenge. This last year in January, our coaches brought in $500,000 in new client revenue in those 90 days, which was incredibly exciting. We were so proud of the coaches that showed up and participated. If you're interested in checking out the challenge, you can do so by going to financialcoachacademy.com and clicking on events, and then the Client Creator Challenge link is there, and you can add your name to the waitlist at the bottom of that page. Getting on the waitlist does not mean that you're enrolled in the challenge, but it does mean that you're going to find out more about it when the time comes and that you're actually going to get those emails letting you know when registration is open. So if you are even a little bit curious, I highly encourage you to head over there and get signed up. All right, but This topic from today is another one that came from the challenge. And so I know that it's something that so many of you are struggling with because I saw it many times, time and again. And I wanted to provide some insights that could help you to talk more clearly about what you do as a financial coach so your prospective clients actually know and understand how you can help them. And hopefully they're compelled to reach out and ask for help. So, let's get started. So this topic, like I said, came up in the challenge, and we were working with these clients on creating their client attraction method to improve their marketing and communication so that they could attract more clients. And one of the things that we were seeing time and again is that as coaches dove into creating their marketing content, they were doing really well talking about money, giving tips and tricks, sharing a money strategy, sharing stories about money, sharing how they have been impacted personally, like in their own lives on their money journey, and how they see money impacting people in general. But a huge thing was missing. They weren't actually letting people know that they are a coach. So this was a huge gap that I was seeing in messaging, and it's something that I want to help you solve today because I guarantee it's happening in some of your messaging as well. So before you go any further, this is a little challenge to you. If you're able, if you're not like out driving somewhere, take a minute, pause this. I want to encourage you to go and look at your social media posts, or if you don't post on social media a lot, but you send emails, maybe go back and look at a couple of your newsletters or emails. And I want you to see what you've been sharing and ask yourself, how often do I talk about what I do as a coach? Is it obvious that I'm a coach? Is it obvious that I work with clients and how I work with clients, right? Or do I look like I am just a financial educator or personal finance influencer or content creator, right? There's a very big difference between the two. So if you can, take a minute, pause this, go look at your social media and ask, if someone saw this, would they think I'm a finance content creator, or would they know and understand that I'm a coach and how I help people? Okay, so big difference between the two. All right. I'll be so curious to hear what you found. So make sure you leave comments or something, because I'm going to want to hear from you guys. What you may have found is that a lot of your content doesn't make it super obvious that you're a coach that people can hire to help them with their money. So it may not be really obvious how you help people. Right? Do you coach people one-to-one? Do you have a course? Do you have a group program? What is the first step to work with you? How do you support people? How do they get started with you? All of these things, if someone wanted to hire you, would it be obvious based on them popping into your social media and looking, or would they have to sort of guess? Right? Or would they have to go to your website maybe, right? Then they might find more there. What I tend to see is that it can feel really awkward or hard to talk about what you do this directly. That is what I hear from a lot of the coaches that we work with who are sort of figuring out their voice on social media. They will say that it feels a bit more comfortable or easier to put out tips and tricks or share money saving hacks or mindset or perspective shifts or a quote about money, and that they don't really know how to tie those things in to talking about the fact that they are a coach, right? And that they're a coach for hire. They say, I don't really know how to bring that all into one thing. How do I do that, right? They can easily come up with a tip about money, but tying that to saying, hey, I'm a coach that can help you, their wording feels awkward or it feels mismatched, and they don't like to do that. Okay. But here's the thing. You actually do need to let people know that you are a coach, right? How can we possibly expect people to hire you if they don't know that that's something they can do, right? So we need to let them know how they can work with you and that it is an option to work with you. So as you're reviewing your content, I want you asking yourself, is the content I'm putting out making me appear as though I am a content creator, a financial content creator, or a financial coach? So just ask yourself this on everything that you're writing. Do I look like a financial content creator here? Or is it obvious that I'm a coach, right? Because you can put out almost the same content and one can make it obvious that you're a coach and the other cannot. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Is it obvious, right? Would someone who finds you for the first time today realize that you are a coach who can help them with their money? And would it be easy for them to understand how you help them, what that first step is, or how to connect with you, right? Keep asking yourself these questions. Keep asking yourself these questions. So what I want to drive home here is do not forget that you are a coach. Always be running your content through this filter, whether that be social media, emails, blog posts, podcasts, interviews, whatever it is that you're doing to market yourself. Always be asking, is it clear that I'm a coach? Is it clear that I help people solve this problem? Is it clear that you can hire me to help you, right? So I thought it might be helpful to actually share some of the questions that came up during the challenge to help facilitate this conversation today. And so here is one of the questions that you may have been wondering too. We had a coach ask, is it beneficial and or necessary to discuss my coaching program on social media? If so, what is the best way to do it? This coach said, I've been keeping my social media pretty top funnel, but I'm wondering if I need to highlight the specific ways I help people through my program and promote it a little more, like showcase it, but without taking people through a sales pitch online, if that makes sense. So I see this question a lot where coaches are asking like, how much is too much to share? Or how much should I put out there? Or how much should I reserve for a conversation inside of my coaching program? Or, a lot of times you might be feeling a little awkward talking about your coaching or not sure how to do it in a way that doesn't feel salesy or sleazy, or you might be feeling afraid to sell, or that it just, you're maybe a little bit shy or timid on social media. It feels too bold for you. It feels a bit scary to put yourself out there, or you just don't quite know how to like weave it in with everything. I would say that's what I see a lot of times, is that people will just say like, it feels so awkward. And it's because it doesn't feel like it is smoothly transitioned in or interwoven into what's being shared, right? So what I do see from coaches is that when they do try to put it in, that's when it doesn't fit or doesn't flow, or it feels like this very abrupt change in where the topic was going, or that sort of thing. And that's why it feels, I think, a bit awkward, and we don't want that, right? So I wanted to talk about this today so I could show you a few different ways to do this. So another question that we got from the Client Creator Challenge, this person said, what I need help with is how to talk about the coaching process. How do I talk about what coaching looks like and what the coaching journey is versus what clients are saying about it? I know I haven't been clear enough about the steps that leads or prospects need to take to start coaching. So I'd love your thoughts or strategies on how best to do that, right? So both of these people are just saying like, how do I talk about it? How do I talk about the fact that I'm a coach or what my process is? And I know that that is where so many people get stumped, right? We can think of a tip or trick or money saving hack or money philosophy or a story from our personal life or from a client's life, but taking that and then coupling it with sharing the fact that we're a coach, that we can help, that we have a process, that there's a system, that there are results that we can get, right? It feels like a hard pivot. And so finding the wording can be really tough. So I'm going to be giving you guys some examples. Have no fear, that is coming. So if you aren't taking notes, I always remind you guys, grab a pen, grab some paper. You're going to want to sit down and take some notes because I know that this will help you in that. So you likely have found yourself in the same boat as this particular coach, wondering, how do I talk about my coaching process on social media or in your emails or other marketing material, right? Maybe your website or blog posts or anything like that. So I want to get into how you can talk about what you do as a coach and how to talk about your program in a way that feels natural, that feels authentic, that feels true to you and not at all salesy or sleazy, right? Because I know we want to stick away from that. No one wants to feel like that in their marketing. So the first thing that I want to say is that when we're talking about how to talk about your program on social media or email content or any of that, What I'm not saying is that you need to get into like all the nitty gritty details. I don't think you need to get into like, I offer a 60-minute, 1-hour session, and then we meet 4 times a week for 3 weeks, or like, you don't need to get into that. It's not the what, right? We're not going to be talking about that. Instead, I want you focusing on weaving in mentions of the fact that you are a coach in all that you do, right? So again, I'm going to say this. I want you to be focusing on weaving in mentions of the fact that you are a coach into all that you do. This is how it will begin to feel very natural, right? So what I see so often is coaches are sharing financial education, tips, tricks, money stories, but they're never actually saying that they're a coach or how they can help. And this is a really big problem, because I know if you're here and you're listening to this podcast, that you actually want to be coaching people, right? If you are a financial coach, that means that you're interacting with others, you're helping them with their money. You are not trying to be a content creator, right? You wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you didn't want to coach people, I hope, probably, right? So we need to make sure that the content you're putting out is not for content creation purposes, but it is for conversion to help people become clients of yours, right? That is the difference in this type of content. So we need to show people that you actually are there to help them make progress with their money through the coaching that you provide, okay? So if you never tell people you're a coach, they're never going to hire you. They don't know. So here are some phrases. Remember, I told you I'm going to help you figure out how to word this. So these are phrases and examples that you can use as you are sharing those tips, tricks, money strategies, financial education, money stories, like all the things you're already sharing. You can still keep doing that. So I'm not saying change it all. I want you still doing that, but you also need to add to that the fact that you are a coach. And so these are some phrases that I want you to weave in as you are creating that content, right? So as you're sharing money tips and tricks and strategies, you might say, this is one of the things I help my clients with when we work together one-on-one, right? How simple is that? This is one of the things I help my clients with when we work together one-on-one. So now they know that you take clients, the way that you work with them is one-on-one, and that this particular topic, whatever it is that you're talking about, is one of the things that you help your clients with, right? So you've just done a really good job of explaining the fact that you are a coach who helps people with this particular problem, among others, and you do that in a one-on-one capacity, right? If you work with people in a group, then you could say that this is just one of the many things that I help my clients with in my group coaching program, blah, blah, blah. Right? So that could go there as well. Or you might say, when my clients first come to me, they often tell me that blank, right? So if you're sharing a money strategy or a tip or a trick or something, tie it in with this. When my clients first come to me, they often tell me that they're struggling with paying off debt. They often tell me that their grocery budget is out of control. They often tell me that they're arguing with their spouse about money. Like whatever that thing is that you're about to share a tip and trick about, start it with saying, when my clients first come to me, they often tell me. So again, you are establishing the fact that you work with clients and that this is one of the things that you help your clients with. So we're establishing this expertise, and we are showcasing the fact that you are a coach. Another wording for that could be, often one of the first things we have to solve when I begin working with my clients is, and then whatever it is that you were going to share, right? Or you might say something like, after you've shared one of your tips or tricks or a money solution or client story, you could say, it all starts with my discovery session, or whatever it is that it starts with. It all starts with my discovery session. This is the foundation for, and then whatever that thing is that you just talked about, you just shared a strategy, and now you're going to say, it all begins with my discovery session, and that is the foundation for creating that plan to get out of debt, blah, 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 right? Whatever the problem is that you're going to solve, you're going to fill it in there, okay? Another comment you might put into the story is, I see this time and again with the clients I work with. Again, we're sprinkling in those little nuggets of mentions that you are a coach, that you work with clients, right? You might say, I know that when clients first come to me, they are often thinking, or they are often feeling, and whatever that thing is too. Or you might say, one of the first things that I like to solve when I start working with a new client is, and again, you're sharing one of those money strategies. You also could say something like, I know what it's like to feel frustrated by blank. Whatever the problem is that you're describing, you could say, I've been there myself, or I see it time and again with the clients that I work with. So again, you want to continually be tying in this fact that you work with clients and you help people solve problems with their money, right? So all of these phrases make it obvious that you are a coach, right? If you were purely a content creator, you would never be saying anything about when clients first come with you, one of the first things you like to do with clients, how you like to help your clients, one of the problems your clients have, right? Those are all things that set you apart, that you are a financial coach. So it's going to make it obvious for people to identify. And again, you might want to put in comments about in my one-on-one coaching or in my group coaching, whatever it is that you're doing with people. I would say most of you likely are doing group or one-on-one coaching, private coaching. So I would be sharing that in those little drops that you are putting throughout your content. It really demonstrates that you're helping others that might have similar problems to what the person reading it is also experiencing with their money, right? And you're doing all of this without being sleazy or awkward or salesy or anything, right? We're not doing that. We're just simply mentioning that you are a coach. So when you're trying to add in more details about your program, it can also be easy to do it in this same sort of way. You don't need to describe your coaching in explicit detail or give them like a complete rundown of what it is, but you can definitely share about it in a more relatable way so that they know how you work with people, right? So maybe let's say you want to share that you have a 12-month coaching program to help people get out of debt, right? So you could share it in a more natural way in your content by saying something like, in my 12-month coaching program, I'm working with my clients to help them figure out the best plan for them. I'm taking all the guesswork out of the equation, and we're working together to streamline their debt payoff process so they get there in the quickest and least stressful way possible, right? So you could add that in. It does not sound salesy. It does not sound gross. It is simply letting people know why someone might want to work with you in a 12-month coaching program, right? You might also say something like figuring out where to begin or what strategy is right for you, and then coupling that with all the other things you already have going on in your life can be tough. That's one of the things that I help my clients with when we are working together one-on-one. I take out the guesswork. I work with them to create a strategy that's going to work for them once and for all. Right? So that could go with like any topic that you're talking about. You could put in something like that right towards the end. Anything like this is really easy to weave into your education, your tips, tricks, money stories. So you really do want to let people know that you are a coach and how you work with people, that you have a program to help them. So in this instance, you help them get out of debt. You want to be mentioning that in your content, okay? You can also add things to your messaging that tie in, a relevant financial coaching topic to your coaching program. So maybe you would say something like this, all right? Maybe you just gave some tips and tricks on cutting expenses. And so you're sort of bringing that to a conclusion. And you could say, cutting expenses is just one small piece of what I help my clients with while we work together one-on-one. We are going to work to strategically reduce your monthly overhead costs, but I'm also going to help you streamline how you manage your day-to-day money so it feels less stressful and less reactionary. We're going to be looking at ways to optimize your savings. We're going to be strategizing about how to approach the goals that you have for your life and so much more. And all of this starts with, and whatever your first step is, all of this starts with a free 20-minute phone call. All of this starts with your discovery session. All of this starts with submitting an application to work together, which you can find by going XYZ, right? So whatever that is, whatever your first step is, you can put it at the end there. So again, you're inviting them. It's obvious that you work with people. They know that you have a one-on-one coaching program. They know that you help with a multitude of things when it comes to their money. You really want to let people know how to work with you. You want to let them know what that first step is and paint the picture of the types of things that you're going to be helping them with as their coach. Okay, guys, so I hope this gives you some ideas and inspiration and clarity around how to include that super important fact that you are a coach in your messaging. So remember, don't forget, you are a coach. You need to make sure others know it too. All right. So we are going to wrap things up for today. Just as a reminder, we always love you to spend a bit of time reflecting on today's topic. You know, we wholeheartedly believe in the coaching philosophy, where in order to honor that, we want you to reflect upon what you've learned, see what you think and feel about it, and how you're going to apply that to your life. This also really creates a great opportunity for us to engage. So if you've got any thoughts about today's topic, please do drop that in the comments. If you're here on YouTube, you can leave that right in the comments here, and we do read and respond to each of those comments. Or if you're in our Facebook group, Financial Coaches Unite, you can drop a comment over there. Let us know what you thought of this episode and how you are going to apply it in your business. We'd love to hear from you. So your question for today, and this is your assignment, right? So if you didn't do this at the beginning of the podcast when I said, why don't you pause now if you can, this is your reminder to do that, is to go back through your social media or go look at some of your last emails or blog posts or newsletters. And I want you to ask yourself, is it obvious that I am a coach? Is it obvious that I can help them with this? Do I give examples of what it's like to work with me or what my process is? Do I let them know what the first step is? I know I said this is your question for today. It's a series of questions. So then based on what you find, I want you asking yourself, how can I change my messaging to be more clear that I am a coach going forward, right? So that is really what I want you asking yourself after you've evaluated things. What can you do in your messaging to naturally just plant those seeds that you are a coach in all of your messaging going forward, so that people know that you are there to help them with their money and that you are a coach that they can hire for help. All right. Thanks for sticking with me, Coach. As you know, at the Financial Coach Academy, we truly do believe that financial coaching is the best and most rewarding way to make a living. I absolutely love what I do. If you are ready to learn how to become a profitable and successful financial coach, head on over to financialcoachacademy.com to learn more about our online courses, our free trainings, and our events. And as always, we love to hear from you. So if you have any questions for the FCA podcast or any comments from today's episode, you can submit those at financialcoachacademy.com/podcast or right here in the comments on YouTube. And if you've been listening on iTunes, please do give us a thumbs up, leave us a review. It really helps the podcast so much. And I thank you again for joining in.